Welcome to the Success in Africa podcast with Dr. Modupe, your weekly dose of leadership vitamins to make you successful in Africa.
Hello and welcome to the Success in Africa podcast episode 46. My name is Dr. Modupe Taylor Pierce, and I am a scholar and practitioner of leadership and organizational development. Simply put, I study what makes people successful. I have been studying this for 3 decades with a particular focus on people in Africa, and in this podcast, I will share stories, lessons, and insights about people having success in Africa. Why this podcast? Because I am sick and tired of Africa being the poorest continent in the world. We are blessed with the greatest resource, young people. Africa will soon have the largest number of working age people in the world, and when these people achieve success, Africa's wealth will be unparalleled. Why? Because I don't know of too many Africans whose goal in life it is to die poor. You see, success in life is simply the achievement of a predetermined goal, whether that goal is owning a house and a car, or creating employment for 1,000 people, or transforming your country into a high-income country. This podcast has been created to help you to achieve it. So, if you are serious about achieving success in Africa, I want you to subscribe to this channel. If you like the video after you've watched it, please click the like button. This episode is brought to you courtesy of BCA Leadership, the largest leadership enhancement company in Africa. If you have questions that you want me to answer after watching this video, just log on to BCA Online, the link is on the screen, and post your questions there. That is where I will respond to your questions. Today we are continuing our 4-episode series on relationships. Success in Africa should not come at the expense of your relationships with those who should be closest to you. And as we may learn in these episodes, your success in Africa can be enhanced by having positive relationships with those who should be closest to you. Last week, we learned that love is a choice, not just an emotion. If you want to know more about that, watch episode 45 after you're done watching this one. Today, we're going to learn some lessons about establishing and maintaining relationships with your children while achieving success in Africa. For this, we're going to examine the journey of one of Malawi's most iconic CEOs, Mr. Vizenge Kumwenda, the group CEO of NICO Holdings. NICO Holdings is a massive financial services group with businesses that span insurance, banking, corporate finance, property solutions, information technology, and asset management. It operates in Malawi and Zambia. Vizenge has been the CEO of the group for 8 years, and the group has experienced profitability and growth during his tenure as the leader. However, it is the great relationship that he has with his immediate family that Vizenge counts as his greatest achievement and the key to his professional success. He and his wife have 3 adult children, all of whom are productive members of society, operating free of the societal vices that all too often plague children of wealthy or successful Africans. And they have a positive relationship with their father. How did this happen? Vizenge grew up in the village. He lived a pretty modest life as a child. In fact, he would describe his own family as, frankly, being poor. There were 7 of them living in a 1-bedroom home, and the children slept either in the kitchen, the girls slept in the kitchen, and the boy, Vizenge, slept in the sitting room. He was the only boy. And his parents occupied the only bedroom. His parents were not educated. But they understood the value of education, and so they sent him to school. Because of their lack of education, Vizenge didn't get help from his parents in things like doing his homework, etc. But he was so driven by his desire to escape poverty that he worked very hard in school and eventually went to university and later earned a master's degree. Now, as Vizenge and his wife started a family of their own, their first two children were girls. Their son came 8 years after the second daughter. Even though he had grown up in a paternal culture, which emphasized different roles for men and women, Vizenge did not look down or hold back his daughters from experiencing all aspects of childhood and exploring their physical and mental limits. He was very aware that at an early age, everything that he and his wife did would be emulated by his daughters, and he was intentional about spending time with them, engaging with them in their school and sports activities, attending their events, giving feedback, helping with homework, taking them on bicycle rides, and making time for recreation with the children. When the daughters became teenagers, even though Vizenge's job became more stressful with promotions and heavier responsibility, he would still take time to work from home as much as possible and engage with the children about what was happening in their lives. Because of the foundation of good relationships built while they were toddlers, when he gave them their time, he was intentional about doing that. The teenagers opened up to him about what they were seeing and learning socially. They would even tell their daddy when their friends were, about their friends who were engaging in some negative or destructive behavior. And for Vizenge, he always had a listening ear for them whenever they wanted to talk or had questions. Now, as these same children grew into adulthood, Vizenge's role had morphed from superhero and instructor to an on-call advisor or coach who simply kept an open line of communication with these adult children. To maintain a good relationship with them and also between them, Vizenge even introduced a weekly family Zoom call with the children so that even though they were in 3 different continents, they were still assured of his time, his love, and his interest in their lives. And he insisted on making sure that they participated in this, no matter how busy they claimed to be. Vizenge's relationship with his children was also greatly enhanced by his intentionality in maintaining a good and loving relationship with his wife. As he said to me, Modupe, children love their mother and their father and are only happy when both of them are happy. Let me say that again, what Vizenge said to me. He said, Modupe, children love their mother and their father and they are only happy when both of them are happy. As a result of this awareness, Vizenge made it his business to keep his wife happy in the marriage. And as a result, his relationship with his children also flourished. Even though he admits that he and his wife have very, very different styles of management, decision-making, personalities, they have chosen to love. And that love creates a stability and a security for the children to feel that has contributed to those children's success in school and at work. For Vizenge, the positive relationship with his children has even helped him to better understand his wife, because as the children became young adults, what has happened is that sometimes they help him to get perspective on how his own wife thinks, and vice versa. After all, who knows Vizenge and his wife better than their adult children? Vizenge attests that the stability and love in his family home has influenced his professional life. He is better able to manage stressful situations because he has a safe haven at home. He has even leveraged the skills of his children to get some of his office work done, especially on tasks that involve new technology that he was struggling to learn. So what can we learn from the journey of Mr. Vizenge Kumwenda, one of Malawi's most successful CEOs? I have gleaned 3 lessons to learn from his journey. Lesson number 1. Be intentional about giving your time to your children. Be intentional about giving your time to your children, especially when they are toddlers, but not exclusively when they're toddlers. You see, by being engaged in the activities of his children, especially when they were toddlers, Vizenge built a foundation of trust and camaraderie that he was then able to leverage during their teenage years when they felt like rebelling, and their adult years when they didn't have to spend time with him through continued engagement. You see, children are intuitive and they can sense quickly when they are not welcome or not valued. And the most effective way of demonstrating to a toddler that he or she is valued is to give them your time. So that's lesson number 1. Be intentional about giving your time to your children. Lesson number 2. Be intentional about keeping the mother or father of your kids happy. You see, one of the greatest gifts that a man can give to his kids is a happy mother. And similarly, one of the greatest gifts that a woman can give to her children is a happy father. Children with an unhappy parent will strive to be happy, but there will always be a cloud somewhere in their blue sky of happiness when one of their parents is not happy. Vizenge chooses to love his wife, and that choice has made his children happy. That's the second lesson. Be intentional about the happiness of your children's mother or father. Third lesson. There are real professional benefits to having good relationships at home. Let me say this again. There are real and professional benefits to having good relationships at home. The notion of work versus life separation, frankly, was obliterated long ago with the advent of mobile technology. However, even before that, mental health professionals had already known that challenges at home affect work performance. Having good relationships at home will enhance your emotional stability, increase your resilience, and improve your emotional intelligence, which is critical for being able to positively influence others. That's lesson number 3. Recognize that there are real and professional benefits to having good relationships at home. So, in summary, the 3 lessons to learn today from the journey of Mr. Vizenge Kumwenda are as follows. Number 1, be intentional about investing your time with your kids because it's a priceless gift that only you can give. Number 2, choose to love the mother or father of your children because your kids will not be completely happy until both their mother and father are happy. Number 3, good relationships with your children and your spouse will positively impact your work performance, and that will make you more successful in Africa. Well, we have come now to the end of today's episode. I hope that you have learned a bit about the importance of relationships in becoming successful in Africa. Next week, we are going to continue on our series by exploring another aspect of relationships. Thank you so much for listening or watching to this episode. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and like the video. Tell your friends about it, because together we can transform our beloved continent of Africa. See you next week.
Tomorrow belongs to those people who prepare for it today. See you next week.